Hallo miteinander, I'm Gish86 and this is the Let's Play for Funtacular. Week 3 presents us with an unusual game. This is Roadblasters for the Sega Genesis. At first glance, this game looks like your typical racing game of the late 80s and early 90s. But that's not the case. As you've already seen, you can blow shit up. And that's pretty much what this game is about. Speeding like crazy, destroying everything in sight, scoring many points, and of course making it past the finish line before running out of fuel. That's pretty much the most important thing. It's very easy to get blown up in this game. One mistake is all it takes, but for the most part, getting blown sky high only costs you time and fuel. The only way to really lose one of your 5 lives is to run out of fuel completely. Happens easier than you think. Now in Rally 2 we can pick up our first of these special items. There are quite a few of them in this game. What we've just gotten is the UZ cannon. This extra weapon fires very rapidly, and it has another advantage. Missing and hitting with it does not affect your score multiplier at all. Your score multiplier is in the lower left corner. It maxes out at ×10, and keeping it high is very important. More on that later. So the use of the UZ cannon is that you can pretty much go wild with it, while usually you want to aim carefully and shoot smart. Now for Rally 3 you're gonna notice a little difference in playstyle. And that has to do with this week's special achievement. What we have to do is we have to reach a ×10 multiplier and keep that for at least 3 minutes straight. We're not allowed to miss a single shot during that time, and we're also not allowed to run out of fuel. Crashing is okay, but losing a life by running out of fuel, not so much. That resets the timer. So yeah, what you'll notice is that now I'm driving really defensively, only shooting when I absolutely have to, and it's really safe to say that I'll hit for sure. Yeah, so pretty much I'm driving like a wuss for the next few minutes. Yeah, deal with it. My car should totally be pink and have a giant ribbon on top of it. That would really reflect my playstyle for the next few minutes. But yeah, that is pretty much how you do this week's challenge. At first, keeping a ×10 multiplier seems really hard to do in this kind of game, but really all you have to know is that you have to drive really carefully. Even crashing is better than shooting in a tight spot, because there's always the chance you'd miss. Right now we're driving in Rally 4. These first few races are very easy, pretty much just a warm-up for what's to come, because let me tell you, this game becomes very challenging indeed. After each stage, you accumulate your score that you've gotten, and that gives you gas. Just like eating a Taco Bell, isn't it? Now, stage 5 introduces a new enemy, these bikers. The difference between the normal cars and them is that they're much harder to hit, but hit you quite as easily. So they're very annoying. They're also swerving around from time to time. Once again we've grabbed a UZ cannon, which is a good reason to go wild shooting again. Still, you have to conserve your ammo with the UZ cannon. It only goes on for so long. I really hate landmines in this game. You're gonna see a lot of landmines in the later stages. Still doing well keeping up that multiplier, but as you'll see, I'm gonna drop it very soon. Because Rally 6 is something else. It's pretty much the stage where you'll hit a brick wall as a newbie, when you're not really sure on how to play this game properly. Yeah, the thing about Rally 6, it's very hard to do if you're not being very aggressively. So for a change, I'd really suggest you drop the act and play aggressively for this one, just shooting at everything. The reason you have to tackle this stage like this is because you get pretty much no fuel on the way. The only way to do it is to destroy as many cars as you can. Those will drop the red fuel orbs, which regenerate quite a bit of fuel. And only if you grab enough of those will you be able to make it to the finish. This one goes on for quite a bit, but we've done it. Rally 6 really is one of the first annoying parts in the game. It's also where I was sure to drop the multiplier. There's just no two ways around it. But I think I made it through at least 3 or maybe 4 minutes. So we're leaving Rally 6 behind and tackling the next one. You'd think that this one would be even harder, don't you? Well, not really. This stage is much easier because of the cruise missile. It's another pickup, and this one pretty much clears the screen of all the enemies, and for a little more distance to come. I like the way it looks. It's like putting the nuclear holocaust on your enemies. Seriously, this gun should be outlawed by the Geneva Conventions. But we've already used up our shots. But that's not a problem, because we've finished this race. Rally 8 is also not that tough if you look at it. Definitely not as tough as the Rallies 9 and 10 that are to come. And I think the reason for that is because the game wants you to regenerate more fuel. For the following races you absolutely have to have a lot of fuel in your reserve tank. And I think the challenge that Polly gave us to keep our multiplier for 3 minutes straight is actually a little hint on how to properly play this game. Because if you go gung-ho all the time, you'll not get a good multiplier, you won't get many points, and you won't get extra fuel after a stage. And that's really a problem. So you can't play this game like that, you've got to be smart about it. I had a good chunk of points for Rally 8. This will definitely help for the next courses. Rally 9 is another one of those courses that is pretty hard to handle. One of the reasons is that there are so many mines around. There's something on your HUD where there's mine on it, and sometimes it'll blink and make an obnoxious sound. That's pretty much to warn you of these mines. But to me that really isn't enough. It really isn't obnoxious enough, and most of the time I don't even notice my mine detector, as sad as that is. We've just grabbed the nitro injector, which is an item that speeds you up, and most of the contestants regard as pretty suicidal. I don't quite agree, but you really have to know when you can use it to any effect. We've just lost our first life. Not fun at all. But maybe we'll do better. Not a good start, isn't it? As I've said, I really hate those mines, because I never notice when my mine detector goes off. It should be much more obnoxious. It should go like, hey, listen! Yeah, that would really help. We know from experience, don't we? So yeah, Rally 9 is another one of those hard stages. But while going through it again, we have to wonder about this game's story, don't we? And to be honest, I don't think this game has a story. I've researched a little bit about it, but couldn't find anything about that part. You know, that really is kind of bugging me. I can't live with that. So how about we make up our own story for this game? How about this? Because we're always blowing up sky high when hitting even the lightest of objects, we're a suicide bomber. We have explosives on board and we have to destroy something with them. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? But I really don't like that all that much. I don't want to be one of the bad guys. Who likes terrorists? Seriously. That toxic waste slip right there is put in a really devious spot. Level design in this game is very intricate. I have to give them that. But back about the matter of a story. How about this? We're a superhero, yeah, and our superpower is conjuring cars and remote controlling them. That would be really useful, but we have a fatal weakness. We have to live on fuel, so if we run out of fuel to drink, we die. That's a really weird superhero, isn't it? We need a name for that guy. How about Roadkiller? Badumshk. Yeah. You know what? Let's drop that matter. This game really doesn't need a story, does it? It's just great to look at, feels great, and that's pretty much all it needs. All it needs to keep those quarters rolling in back in the day. I'm pretty sure this was a popular game, even if pretty much none of the contestants has ever heard of it. Yeah, kind of obscure, but good for what it is. Oh, by the way, we're in the rally number 10, and this stage is brutal. Absolutely brutal. You have to be a real motor maniac to make it through here. A horror of the highway if you want. Or even a New York taxi driver. Yeah, it's that tough. Some wicked driving throughout. I have to admit, I've never beaten Rally 10 before this recording. And yeah, it's super hard, and I was kind of lucky to make it even. Not only that, but I had a lot of reserve fuel. But even if it was just luck, like the ancient Romans said, luck is with the virtuous. Smart people, those Romans. Listen to them. So, we've beaten Rally 10, and that's actually really good, because with that we've reached our target for this week's challenge. That's right, by beating Rally 10 we've gotten all the progress points we could get. So we're pretty much free to go at this point. We have a few minutes left, and let's see if we can get a bit further. You can actually start the game in Rally 11 right from the menu. If you do, the game calls you an expert. I don't know if I agree with that, because beating those first 10 rallies is also pretty hard. Seems kind of easy to just jump to this one. Once again, we get the cruise missile in this stage. By not using it really well, I've kind of messed up the stage. I also messed up the stage by getting hit right there. If you get hit at certain spots, all the fuel orbs on screen will just wander off into the distance. Yeah, because of that I was pretty much screwed at this point. That's no good. We still have one life to go. Can we make it with that? I really hope we can. Spoilers, I already know. Overall, I say this game is pretty fun. I'm usually not a fan of racing games. I'm also not that big a fan of arcadish games. I think they're good for what it's worth, but unlike more complex games, those can't keep me for a long time. Can't keep me interested for a long time. But sometimes they're just good to pick up again. They're not hard to get into, and for that purpose this game is pretty good. Pretty good game, yeah. that pretty much concludes this week. We're almost out of time. Rally 10, Rally 11 was cleared. I'm very happy about that. I'm Gish86. This was Roadblasters. Bis bald!